everybody. It's a little after 11 o'clock. Been monkeying around, filling tractors with fuel, unhooking the finisher. Had to do a little roof repair work because we live in a pretty windy area and the wind got a hold of some tin, so got that tightened back down. Now we are going to fill with fertilizer. Then we're going to start planting a little bit of sweet corn. Got some Roundup Ready sweet corn so we can just spray right through it. Don't have to worry about weeds or anything. We get a lot better yield. We didn't do any last year. Just didn't have time, got in a big rush. And then we are going to start planting corn. I think the conditions are pretty good. Still gonna have to fight the wet spots a little bit, but I think working the ground with the wind we got today, it's between 15 and 25 mile an hour and it's heating up fast. So that should cook out some of those wet spots and hopefully we don't get stuck. So ride along, see what we do. Quick update, I don't know if you saw it, I just about smoked my brand new fuel barrel. Forgot when I hooked the planter in there I was gonna have to go backwards. Got in a little bit of a rush and luckily caught it before I hit it. That would have been a not so good thing because that barrel is full. Everything started getting crazy with fuel prices and such, so made the jump, ordered a big barrel and filled it. Now I think I have enough fuel for the whole year because we're not a very big operation, but that would have sucked. All right, back to corn's in the ground. The monitor, that fancy dancy thing right there, just told me that I was out of seed, so that's roughly 25,000 seeds, I believe. I'd have to look at the bag again to see. Obviously you saw me let the markers down because I had to go unlock them. If I don't lock them up when I put them in the shed, I will rip them off because my shed doors are that close. And then I had to jump out, adjust the fertilizer rate, double check the seed population to see where I was. Only I could remember what I did last year. Thought I wrote it down. If I ran out or ran light, or if I was putting it on heavy, I don't remember. So I'm just gonna run with it again. Obviously wasn't that bad of a deal. Be quiet. So now I'm going to go back to the shed, grab some field corn, and get started with that. Loaded up with seed. As you've seen, I don't have a seed tender. I just use the skid loader, handle all the bags, not that big of a deal. Got the graphite in, everything should be set. Right back where I stopped planting sweet corn, and hopefully 8 hours from now, if everything goes well, I'll be done with planting for 2022. Maybe get in those wet spots a little later here, see how it dries out. Otherwise, we're just going to save a little spot for a little more sweet corn. We don't want all of it ripe at the same time, so we're going to split up the plantings. Let's go plant. see there, I just got out. You guys were in a time warp. Got out, checked my seat depth, and when I was looking at it, something just didn't look right. So I happened to check the sprockets here when I thought I set it up to plant the 32,000 seeds per acre I want. I did not. I would have been a little light on seeds actually. It would have only ran out at about 30,000 if everything worked properly. So we're going through our first real wet spot there. I've got the differential locked. I didn't work this with the disc. I just drove over it, let it sit. That way hopefully I've got enough traction where I can get up this hill. We live in hill country a little bit, nothing crazy or anything, but enough where the guy could spin out. So right now I'm pretty focused on where I'm going. This first round I'm trying to line up where I planted beans and where I want the corn to go. I didn't mark the whole field, I just marked where I stopped. So as I'm going along, I can see, now that it's been a week, it's harder to see, but we had that pounding rain, so it really leveled off the bean row furrow. But we're getting seeds in the ground. If anything, it's just going to be planted a little too close, and either the beans will get sprayed off or the corn will get sprayed off, and life will go on. Everybody has to use a pliers to turn the air conditioner on, right? There's that. Turning the heat off. It is toasty today. Good and bad. Good, because it'll dry up my wet spots. Bad, it might crust my beans in, and that'll be a challenge. Figure that out later. Get back to planting corn. We're back in the tractor. Well, I've been in the tractor, but you guys are back now. So you can hear that beeping noise. It's good and bad. Since I didn't record for a little bit, I've had to go help the neighbor get some cattle in. I was planting and called him because I broke a part, and then he called me back 2 seconds later, and he was going down the road, and here one of the guys that lives on the main highway, we call a neighbor. Everybody's a neighbor around here, so we know everybody. He had some steers working their way towards the highway, and he needed some help. So we went, helped get them in, and then I went and borrowed a part from my neighbor Tony. He wasn't going to use it, and it's the radar GPS that tells my monitor how fast I'm driving, which I can see that on the tractor. I go 4.5 miles an hour, unless it's going to rain, then I push it to 5 usually. But without that GPS working, I couldn't tell what my population was, because it does the math in the monitor and tells you how many seeds per acre you're putting in. I don't have to worry about that much with my planter because it's all mechanical, so I ran for probably 6 acres before I figured out who had one I could grab, because the local dealer didn't have one. And then I finally figured out who had one, got it put in, got back to planting. So we just filled up with seed. It's windy out. I don't know, I'll put you outside here in a little bit and you'll see the dust just flying. Everything you work, like with your marker or even the planter, turns black when you're opening up the dirt, but by the time you're coming back, it's a struggle to see the marker. We got the dinosaurs. We still use the marker arms to tell us our row spacings. Basically, you just line that marker up at the center of the tractor, and that's where you want to go. As for the wet spots, they have improved a lot. one along the road that we sealed back shut last night. I still don't think I'll be able to get through, but I've backed up to a couple other ones and been able to drive through a couple of them. So conditions are improving, but we're still fighting the rain. We'll throw you outside here. Alrighty, we're getting down there on acres. We're starting to test those wet spots. So this year I'll have 36 acres of corn, and I planted 38 acres of beans last week. Didn't get it recorded, didn't have a camera then, so no beans for this year, but I think I've got about an acre, maybe two left on this field. And then I've got about 9.5 acres along the road, which holds our beloved wet spot. So I've been holding off on getting down there on fertilizer, but this one wet spot, I didn't want to go through there full of fertilizer, because then I'm guaranteed to sink. The lighter I am, the better. So far it's working. Used differential lock. Had my hand on the emergency exit button. Let's pick the planter up and gun it. Downhill usually, and so far it's worked. Now I'm starting to get through where it's questionable, but it's going through. I think I'm past the worst of the wet spots, so I'll bring you guys along, show you what I'm dealing with. So here's that wet spot that I've been fighting. The camera kind of picks it up. That really dark stuff adds moisture yet. So I came through that side, and how did I plant this? I don't remember. Oh, I came through that side, but I chickened out on that. So I was going this way on this, and then I had to come back this way on it. And right there, that line and that line. That's how good of a guess I am at running this planter. A little bit of luck, but you do it for a while, you get the hang of it. So now I gotta pick up, back it up, make a short run down, and keep going. We're getting ready to just go with it. See if you guys can see. There's my marker line. Better put the differential lock on. There's water standing there. Put you guys down. And we just go. Huh. That standing water fooled me even. Nothing to it. Went right through. Sometimes having differential lock is all you need. the last field. Just filled up with fertilizer. Should have filmed it. Got creative, holding the chain with pliers. Get the auger where it needed to be, and then found out where the gravity box was rusted. And then I tried to step where there was no step. Luckily, I held onto the auger and pulled myself back up. But anyways, got all the fertilizer in, so we're going to stay away from the wet spots, hopefully for a little bit. Until some of that's gone, get us a little lighter. I'm going to have to make one more stop and get more seed. But I just didn't feel like putting that in right now. It's hot out. I needed air conditioning, adult beverages. Any clue what's in it? Better not hit the mailbox, though. Be in the name of YouTube, though, right? Anyways, we're gonna finish this last 9 acres, whatever it is. Get everything cleaned up, put in the shed, and keep going. Time. Yes, I know how to read that. My plan did not go as planned. I was hoping to be done, but a few setbacks. We've got 2 more rounds.